We are Melungeon. We are Melungeon.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 2 of season 6 of the Melungeon Voices podcast. We have some very special guests with us today from the D.A.R, the Daughters of the American Revolution. And we are thrilled to have them on our podcast because they have some exciting news to share. As always, I am your host, Heather Andalina, president of the Melungeon Heritage Association. And with me, my co-host, Brooke Gibbons. Hey, Brooke, how are you? Are you ready for Thanksgiving?
Yes, I'm very ready because I am not hosting. We will be going to my mother's house, so I am very ready.
Even better. I've already
Yes.
put my order in at Publix, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Now let's meet our wonderful guests for today. Barbara, we'll start with you. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Barbara Bishop, and it's my pleasure to serve as the first Melungeon Specialty Research National Vice Chair. A true child of Appalachia, I'm excited to be a part of this new adventure as we work to identify Melungeon Patriots who contributed to the cause of independence. I'm a 27-year member of D.A.R and have served on numerous committees at the chapter, state, and national level over the years, having been involved in some form of specialty research since 2010. I have 21 proven patriots and belong to several lineage organizations, but D.A.R has my heart. Kathy, would you like to introduce yourself?
I certainly would. Thank you, Barbara. My name's Kathy Hanlon. I'm a 20-year member of the D.A.R, and I've served on multiple national, state, and chapter committees. I'm currently serving as a research specialist and with the Research Specialty Committee and a state historian for the Texas Society. I'm also a member of the state application team in Texas. I have 21 proven Patriot ancestors, and I belong to 16 different lineage societies, including the Jamestown Society. Thank you.
Sarah, would you introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I'm Sarah Bethany Hobbs Helfrich. I'm a 23-year member, and I serve on national, state, and chapter levels. I'm currently serving as a research specialist with the Specialty Research Committee. I also serve on state and chapter levels for the E Pluribus Unum Committee, and I'm currently serving on my chapter's executive board. I'm the chapter chair for America 250. Melungeon ancestry is something I grew up with, and I'm proud to be a Melungeon heritage.
Thank you, Sarah. Gigi Best Richardson is one of the members of this committee. She could not be with us today. She's a 14-year member of D.A.R and also serves on the African American Specialty Research Team this time. We also have another member, Marianne Pearson. She could not be with us due to another commitment. She is a 19-year member of this team as Melungeon Research Specialist. She also serves at the national level as an air specialist on the Lineage Research Committee. She is currently the Tennessee State Chair of Lineage Research and serves on the Tennessee SAT team. Marianne and I have worked together on various national specialty research teams since 2017.
Thank you, Barbara. Actually, Bonnie, would you like to also tell us a little bit about yourself?
Please.
I'm Bonnie Hartman. I'm from East Tennessee. I live in Greene County. And I'm new to D.A.R. I have a year under my belt now, and I have my daughter there also now, and one more daughter to go. Hopefully we'll get that done this coming year. It's just been a long journey, and I'm glad to be there. Thank you.
Fantastic. Now, I'd like you all to tell our listeners about the D.A.R. What is its history, its significance, and the impact it has had on generations of women. Barbara?
Since its founding in 1890, D.A.R. has admitted more than 1 million members. We currently have a network of more than 190,000 women worldwide who form lifelong bonds, honor their Revolutionary War ancestors, and promote historic preservation, education, and patriotism in their communities. I'm proud to be one of them, but we are so much more. Let's ask Kathy to share some of our D.A.R. history.
Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate that. Our D.A.R. history has been intertwined with the most significant historical events of the United States. Our mission is historic preservation, patriotism, and education, and D.A.R. members have contributed significantly throughout the past 135 years to uphold this important mission. We saw the women's movement. We saw several prominent suffragists who were D.A.R. members, including Susan B. Anthony, Julia Ward Howe, and others. The D.A.R. Hospital Corps certified 1,081 trained nurses for service during the Spanish-American War. After the war, D.A.R., at its own expense, paid pensions to all the nurses who entered service and who were not receiving or were not eligible for government pensions. D.A.R. efforts were extensive during World War I and World War II. In World War I, D.A.R. established the War Relief Committees. They raised funds for orphans. They trained nurses. They built a water system in Tilleroy, France, after its complete destruction. And they even had a campaign to re-chickenize France. In World War II, D.A.R. member Jane Delano organized the Red Cross nursing service and trained thousands of nurses. The D.A.R. loaned its headquarters to the federal government for office spaces during the war and provided the American Red Cross bloodmobiles across the country. From 1928 through 1929, D.A.R. placed Madonna of the Trail monuments depicting a pioneer mother and her 2 children in 12 states. In 1955, the D.A.R. petitioned Congress to establish Constitution Week, a resolution that was signed into public law in 1956. In the early 20th century, D.A.R. provided aid to immigrants at Ellis Island, and D.A.R. contributed toward the restoration of Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. We furnished the Governor's Council Chamber and the Committee of Assemblies Room at Independence Hall in Philadelphia. D.A.R. member General Wilma Vaught is one of the most decorated military women in history, and she was instrumental in creation of the Women in Military Service Memorial at Arlington National Cemetery. We have provided care packages to troops during every U.S. military conflict, and we have always honored our nation's veterans. D.A.R. is the largest group to serve on the Veterans Volunteer Service Administration National Advisory Board. We are a founding partner of the Veterans History Project with the Library of Congress, a prominent partner in the United States of America Vietnam War 50th Anniversary Commemoration, and the United States Semi-Cinquentennial Commission, which is where we are helping to plan events and projects to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Since 1903, D.A.R. has been helping children in remote mountainous areas to receive an education. Additionally, D.A.R. provides scholarships to college students, contests for secondary and primary students, grants for women veterans. We support ROTC cadets, books for libraries, and so much more. The generations of D.A.R. members have always shared a sense of purpose and pride in an undaunted pursuit of our ideals. As an added note, among D.A.R. members have been Clara Barton, founder of the American Red Cross, Admiral Grace Hopper, often called the mother of computer science, Rhea Sedan, the first female astronaut, Janet Reno, who was past Attorney General, wives of many United States presidents, including Eleanor Roosevelt, Rosalind Carter, Barbara Bush, and Laura Bush, and actresses such as Ginger Rogers, Carol Burnett, and Bo Derek.
Thank you
And
so
that's,
much, Kathy.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure to give a summary of the D.A.R.
That is so great. So for our organizations like the D.A.R. and the Melungeon Heritage Association, and for mixed race Americans like myself, something that is so important in getting started is tracing your genealogy. We want to discuss more in detail the D.A.R.'s genealogical resources. Do you have to be a member to access those? And what do you do to start that process?
You do not have to be a member to utilize the DAR public website. You simply go to https://www.dar.org. At this point, I had hoped we'd be able to have Gigi with us to tell us about the library catalog and collections. Kathy, would you share that with us?
Certainly, I will. Since its founding in 1896, the D.A.R. Library, which is located in Washington, D.C., has grown into a specialized collection of American genealogical and historical manuscripts and publications, as well as a powerful on-site database. The D.A.R. Library collection contains over 225,000 books, 10,000 research files, thousands of manuscript items, and special collections of African American history, genealogy, culture, women's history, and nearly 4,000 family histories and genealogies, which comprise a major portion of the book collection. Many of these are unique and available only in a few libraries across the country. The D.A.R. Library is free. It is open to the public. While the D.A.R. Library is open during normal business hours 7 days a week, our online library catalog is available 24/7. You can explore this digital resource that we have on hand, including the Genealogical Research System, which we call the GRS, and you can research that anytime online.
Thank you, Kathy. Kathy just mentioned the GRS, DAR's Genealogical Research System. Sarah, would you mind? Would you tell us more about the GRS?
Certainly. The Genealogical Research System, the GRS, is the D.A.R.'s online genealogical portal. MHA members will find collections of databases, including our ancestor database, member database, and a descendants database. Information in these databases is derived from approved D.A.R. member applications. The Ancestor database contains the name and service record of every Patriot ancestor of D.A.R. members who have joined the National Society. The Descendants database is a transcription of every name in the lineage portion of D.A.R. approved applications. You can search by anyone in the lineage, not just the Patriot ancestor or the member. You can search the D.A.R. member database. It's limited to searching by the national number, the membership number. So if you do have a relative who has joined D.A.R., you can search using her national number. The GRS also contains a D.A.R. library catalog, D.A.R. Genealogical Records Committee database, the Revolutionary War Digital Library and corresponding index, and a couple of others. The databases are arranged on separate tabs to make navigation easier. The Resources tab on the GRS includes links to various genealogical websites. And not to be confused with GRS, the Genealogical Records Committee, the GRC, has collected previously unpublished genealogical records since 1913 to preserve these historical records. And the result is nearly 20,000 typescript volumes. Again, to access these databases, go to dar.org and click on the Genealogy tab.
Thank you, Sarah. Under research on the public website, be sure to check out the E Pluribus Unum Educational Initiative and the Patriots of Color database developed for the public. This database currently has 6,600 names of African American, American Indian, and mixed heritage patriots. Members may submit names of patriots to be added to the database by sending proof of service to epu@dar.org. Non-members may contact epu@dar.org for more information. Now, let's not forget about the D.A.R. archives. Sarah, would you like to share something about the archives with us?
Absolutely. Our archives contain two very important collections. The Americana collection, specifically focused on colonial America, the Revolutionary War, and early Republic. The NSDAR archives contain all NSDAR records, photographs, and objects that are no longer administratively useful, but which have significant historical value. Members and prospective members have additional research assistance available to them through their local chapters.
Thank you, Sarah. And we'll make sure to put all that information also in the notes on this episode so people can also see it. But I think so many people don't realize how much genealogical records that the DAR has. Like, this is amazing. But Barbara, now you mentioned earlier the Melungeon Research Group. What is the Melungeon Research Group?
The
And how did it
Melungeon.
begin?
Oh, sorry.
No,
I
you're
get I get so excited. The Melungeon research is new to this administration and falls under the National Specialty Research Committee. Charlotte White is the national chair. We are very fortunate to have Charlotte. The National Committee's overall objectives are to create more avenues for membership as we see an interest in our organization from more diverse prospective members, to locate documentation relating to new and previously unrecognized patriots' contributions to the American Revolution in archives and repositories, both in the United States and outside, including but not limited to those locations in our European allies, Canada, Mexico, Cuba, and the Caribbean. Using tools developed by specialty research areas and for them to also educate the public and our membership about the contributions of the underrepresented patriots of the American Revolution, to assist and support chapters when called upon for assistance in applications or supplementals. But before we talk about the origin and the mission of the new Melungeon Specialty Research Committee, I think we need to hear from a special friend of this committee, Bonnie Hartman.
Okay. I kind of got started in this, basically 30 plus years ago, back when I was in I guess it was longer than that since I'm about 75. Guess it was 45 years ago. Okay. But anyway, there was a lot of secrecy about my family. My father died when I was 3, and I really wanted to know who I was. And I started asking questions of my siblings. I'm the baby of 16. And nobody wanted to talk about anything, and of course we heard rumors that we were kin to this person down the road and this person down the road and that person down the road by different names. And they were all several of them were very dark skinned, and we were told not to associate with them, because I guess ours was kind of a lighter skin than what they were. We were more German background, I suppose, from my father. But anyway, as I got older and I got more and more curious, and my brothers and sisters wouldn't tell me anything, and come to find out they didn't know anything. So they didn't know anything to tell me. And we were told that we came from Sneedville. So my niece came down from Maryland with me, and we started going over to Sneedville and trying to find some information about the Miser family. Of course, nobody had ever heard of us in Sneedville because we're not from Sneedville. Apparently, we're from Newman's Ridge, or Panther Creek as we know it now. But anyway, as we did a lot of studying and realized that there's not much information, there's extremely little information that is written down. And I guess it's because nobody in my family knew how to read or write. They didn't attend church. They were not allowed to go to school, as you all know. And it was just that kind of a situation, and there was not much information. But then I met this man named Bill Grosh, and from the Vardy area, and Barbara knows him well, or knows his information well. But anyway, at some point they've decided to allow his information to become public, and I'll let you talk about that. But that's where I learned what I know now. That's where my start came from, was from Bill.
Thank you, Bonnie, for the opportunity to participate in your D.A.R. membership journey. when your chapter requested help from the membership task force, Mary Ann Pearson, who couldn't be with us today, was assigned to assist your chapter. She found a new patriot for you and submitted the new application. And of course, the genealogy department wanted more. And I became your advocate. As those who do research for others know, these journeys quickly become personal. I did not know Bonnie until after her application for D.A.R. membership was verified. But Bonnie's journey became my journey. And Bonnie's great-grandmother, Phoebe, became my Phoebe. Friends in the Melungeon community became aware of my ongoing Melungeon research. They had no clue who the applicant was, just that she had Melungeon lineage and was from our part of Appalachia. And they would ask me when they saw me, they'd say, "Has our girl been approved yet? Has D.A.R. recognized her lineage?" I was so happy to be able to say yes when Bonnie received her national number. And I was thrilled to meet her for the first time when I visited Vardy this past September. I was so happy that I could tell my friend Jack Goins, the Hawkins County, Tennessee archivist, that Bonnie's new Patriot ancestor had been verified when she became a D.A.R. member in July of 24. Jack was a passionate Melungeon researcher and helped so many over the years. Sadly, Jack passed away in October of 24 at the age of 88. The objectives of the new Melungeon Specialty Research Team are to identify new Melungeon patriots who contributed to the revolutionary cause, to educate the public and membership about the contributions of Melungeons during the American Revolution, assist and support chapters who call upon us for assistance with applications and supplementals.
Thank you both. Thank you,
There is
Bonnie,
some-
for. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Excuse me. I just wanted to add one thing. I think it's admirable that the D.A.R. is, they do the research. You know, they don't take anybody's word for anything. And I think that's important, even though it did take me 3.5 years to get verified. And of course, it was at our local level, at the state level, and national had to get involved in it. But if you're verified by the D.A.R., you're verified.
Yes.
There's no
You are
mistakes.
official. Yeah.
You are
Yeah.
official.
Yes, they do their due diligence. Well, thank you, Bonnie, for sharing your journey, and for Barbara for being a part of Bonnie's journey and staying connected. And now you're connected for life this way. Barbara, what do you hope to accomplish with the Melungeon Research Group?
The most important objective has been it's been accomplished. The most important objective was accomplished when the National Society, Daughters of the American Revolution, added the Melungeon Specialty Research Team to the National Specialty Research Committee. By doing that, they recognized the contributions made by the Melungeon Patriots and others in the Melungeon community during the Revolutionary War. They made that recognition official. So we've accomplished what the most important thing was already. Now, what we want to do, well, first, we want to work to achieve our objectives, identify new Melungeon patriots, educate the public and our members, and assist chapters with research. And we want, as a committee, we want to encourage Melungeon lineage research during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Secondary Melungeon names, which reflect intermarriage with those outside the core community, often lead us to Melungeon patriots and sometimes a non-Melungeon patriot. It is important to learn about any lineages connected to the Melungeon community that might lead to a Revolutionary War patriot. You see, that's our focus. We're looking for those Revolutionary War patriots, and we're looking to make those connections because we'd love to have new members. We will encourage our chapters and our members to identify family history books, Bible records, family letters, and other documents that can provide Melungeon lineage documentation required for D.A.R. membership. I am hopeful that the MHA will be able to fully digitize the William P. Grosh collection and share it with our researchers. Of course, this is Bill Grosh that Bonnie was talking about. The Tennessee State Library and Family History Library currently has about 350 pages available online of his collection that have been digitized. And I understand there are many, many more pages in the collection yet to be digitized. To fully digitize this collection and then to index 6, it would be a huge boost to those researching the Melungeon community and Melungeon lineage in East Tennessee and Southwest Virginia locations where there are burned courthouses and missing documents.
Yes, you're exactly right, Barbara. And we are working on that through the Melungeon Roots is where we're going to be able to put that Grosh collection digitally. So we're really excited about that. And I will say, when Bonnie told me over the summer at the MHA conference back in June about all of this, I was just over the moon. I mean, this is just so exciting. But so how can our listeners submit their Melungeon revolutionary ancestors for consideration?
Well, D.A.R. only accepts Revolutionary War ancestry lineage of any kind for consideration when it is submitted as lineage to a Revolutionary War patriot on a woman's membership application. So if you're interested in submitting it to D.A.R., get that sister or aunt or mother or daughter, first cousin or whatever, and get her to submit a D.A.R. application. That's the best way to do it.
This is really helpful information, Barbara, because I researched a couple years ago very loosely. It looked like that I am a descendant on my father's side of a couple folks who perished in the Revolutionary War. So I was always interested in learning more. Unfortunately, I have no more family on my father's side, including my father himself. He has passed. So I would love to learn more because for our listeners who are interested, like myself, in becoming members of the D.A.R., where do they need to go and what do they need to become members?
I can answer that question for you, but first I wanted to thank you, Bonnie, for sharing your story. My grandparents are from Floyd County, Kentucky, and they were the parents of 15 children. So I know those big families and how we function and exist. But if you're a woman and you're at least 18 years of age and a descendant from a patriot of the American Revolution, you can go to dar.org, select the genealogy tab, and complete the membership interest form to begin the membership process. Once you have completed the form, a local member will contact you just as long as you can provide as much information as possible to help them get started. Another option is to contact a local chapter directly. Again, go to dar.org, select the genealogy tab. Using the locate a chapter link, you will enter your zip code and a list of local chapters will populate and their contact information will be available to you.
And what do they need, Kathy?
Prospective members must provide lineal descent from a proven patriot of the American Revolution. If a woman knows her lineage to a patriot, she is halfway there already. It's a good start. And then she needs to gather documents supporting the first 3 generations: birth certificates, death certificates, marriage records, and an obituary, to name just a few of the documents that are accepted. A local chapter will help with finding the additional proof documents and with finding a patriot and the lineage to the patriot ancestor.
Awesome. Thank you. And I always like to ask at the end, is there anything else anyone would like to share with our listeners?
I'd like to share a little bit about those other families that I was telling you that were in the Roaring Fork community when I started growing up. I ended up married to one of those families that came out of Vardy at the same time that my family did. Apparently, there was like 7 different families that had come over to Greene County together. There was a judge here by the name of Judge Doty at the time. Apparently, was a circuit riding judge, and he became friends with my father and some of them over there, and said, "There's work in Greene County. Come to Greene County." So they all settled pretty much along the same creek, and that's where we all met each other. And anyway, I ended up married to one of them and found out later that we all came from the same location. And so he's Melungeon descent also. So my children are double Melungeon. And then that husband passed away after 40 years of marriage. And then I married and met Lynn Hartman that I'm with now. And his ancestors fought at the Battle of Kings Mountain. And come to find out, then my ancestor, Mormon Lawson, actually participated in that same skirmish. Not in the battle itself, but his group got there after the battle was over and took the prisoners onto the Moravian Moravian camp where they were kept at until the things were over. So, we're all connected. My patriot was born in 1751. I was born in 1951, exactly 200 years later. And then here we are 250 years later, and our ancestors are connected still. I think that's pretty fascinating.
So great.
Oh yeah, we're all, that's what I always say. We're all interconnected.
We're all connected.
For sure. I'd also like to share some information about a known Melungeon patriot of the American Revolution. Thomas Gowan was born about 1750 in Brunswick County, Virginia. He died on May 22nd, 1838 in Claiborne County, Tennessee. He was a private in the Greensville County Militia. In 1784, he was appointed constable in Washington County, North Carolina, which later became Washington County, Tennessee. In 1788, Thomas moved to Hawkins County, Tennessee. At last count, there were over 50 descendants of Thomas who had joined the D.A.R. So Melungeon families are credited with populating the Americas, therefore leading to more learning opportunities about early America.
And on that note, on that note, you talk about Thomas Goins. My husband's ancestor was the first sheriff of Washington County. So Mr. Goins probably worked for him.
No
And
way.
I was just going to add, my ancestor was the first sheriff of Russell County, Virginia. So
Oh,
we have known each other. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's cool. That's cool. That is cool.
That is, I'll tell you, it's amazing.
Well, I think Sarah's has of her proven patriot. She has several ancestors that came out of Lee County, which is right there on the other edge of Newman's Ridge and
Mhm.
just down the road from Russell County.
You
So
got it.
we are
Mhm.
spread all over the country, and you start looking at these ancestors, and mine are all from Southwest Virginia, right there, Russell, Washington, Scott, Lee, Wise, the same area, and it's just a really small world.
Yes.
And I know Sarah goes to the Hobbs and the Elys, and those are
Oh, yes.
well-known names to Bonnie because she's from that area.
Mhm. Oh
That's
yes.
right.
I was going to say, Bonnie, I too, of course, like Newman's Ridge and Vardy Valley. I have ancestors, my Collinses are from there. I know and when I have people, when they reach out to the Melungeon Heritage Association, that's what they're like, I have, there's been stories in my family and we're from, northeastern Tennessee, parts of Western Virginia and and so so many people are getting out there and putting it together and
Yes.
realizing,
Yes.
that, I always say, realizing the truth. I mean, I think you had mentioned earlier, Bonnie, that, I mean, that is like it is for all of us. And I'm sure Sarah knows and Barbara, it's, you hear these stories in your family, but it's all on the down low.
Yep.
And yeah, and it's like everybody, we all hear that and and I think it's just so wonderful that we're all coming together and I'm just so excited about with the Daughters of the American Revolution and with the Melungeon Research Group. It's I think it's gonna be very life-changing for people.
Yes. It's opened up a lot of doors. A lot of doors. We belong. We belong.
That's just
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Yes. This is just all so fantastic. The D.A.R. has so many great genealogical resources and information. And I want to thank each one of you for being on the podcast today and for taking the time to talk with us and share the new exciting information about the D.A.R. and Melungeon ancestry. This is going to help, like we said, a lot of people with ancestral ties to the American Revolution through their Melungeon ancestors. So thank you all so much. I'm going to give a little teaser about next month's episode, which will be Saturday, December 20th at 2. And we're going to be interviewing former MHA president and Melungeon author Wayne Winkler. I'm sure some of you know Wayne, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Interesting fella.
Yeah. So we're going to have him on next month. We want to thank the VA 250 Commission and the Virginia Humanities for the grant that made this podcast season possible. And once again, thank you all again for being wonderful guests. Thank you, Brooke, for being here with us. And
Yeah.
I'll see everyone next month.
Thank you.
Thank
See you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Now we've traveled very far. Where we've been is who we are. We are standing proud and strong. We'll use our strength to carry on. We are Melungeon. We are Melungeon. Our voices shouting our stories of our defeats and victories. We're unified, we stand as one. Diversified nation that is finally home. We are